Yeah, hi there, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder-owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT. And today I want to talk about one specific language use error you want to avoid during the TOEFL iBT speaking section of the exam. Now you know that you have the independent and the integrated speaking tasks, am I right? Now, what you may or may not know is sometimes these questions require a certain type of grammar that you want to use. For example, this is one of my topics that I use, and you could see a topic like this on the TOEFL exam. So it says, if you were to move to another city, which city would you choose? So because it says here were and not was, and then it's using would you choose, the question is asking you to talk about what we call a present impossible condition. That means you have to have pretty good control of your grammar if you want to do well with your language use on this, right? Now, what we want to do now is I'm going to let you listen to a student who answered this particular question. She just goes by the name of Julieta at my TOEFL iBT speaking practice Voxy Pop discussion group, right? So here's what she says.
If I have to move to another city in my country, it would be Medellin. And some of the reasons is because of the weather and the people. And the weather is very moderate. Medellin is called the city of endless spring, and I love that. And the people is very hard worker. People in Medellin works very hard, and everybody has like a sense of ownership for their city. And that is why Medellin grows and thrives more and more every day. For those reasons, I would love to live in Medellin.
Okay, so obviously the student has some problems, I think, with delivery. You notice the word country instead of country. The student also has some language issues, one of which I'm going to point out right now. And then there's obviously some topic development issues. For example, when the student talked about a moderate climate in the city, the student didn't really develop that point or give an example to illustrate that. But for the purposes of this video, I just want to focus on the language use issue, right? Now, what we want to do is, I'm going to take the first part of her sentence and we'll write it down just below this speaking prompt. Remember this impossible condition? So let's see what she says. See if you can do this. I'm going to play the beginning of the video. See if you can write down exactly what her first sentence is.
If I have to move to another city in my country, it would be Medellin.
So then, the student says this. Yeah, I'm not sure how to spell the city, to be honest, so I'm just going to say that. Okay, so you see what we have here? Now, what the writer's doing here, the writer is kind of mixing two different grammatical structures within the sentence, which is probably not a good idea. So, the student has two choices here. The first choice is to say, if I have to move to another city, and I would probably, instead of saying this, I would say, I will move to whatever. That's one way to do it. So you're using the simple present and the future. And in this case, though, you're talking about a present possible condition, not a present impossible condition. So this is actually a little bit different grammar than the speaking prompt is actually requiring, right? Now, if you want to really be accurate here, and if she wants to be accurate with her grammar, if she's talking about a present impossible condition, she needs to change have to have. So if I had to move to another city, it would be blah, blah, blah. So that's really the basis of my video. Is what I'm saying is you got to be pretty smart. You have to be able to look at what the question is you're being asked. For example, here, And then you have to determine really two things. How do you plan on organizing your response so that it directly addresses the speaking task? And then the next thing is make sure you're using the appropriate grammar which matches the grammar that's required by the task. You see what I'm saying? Because if you want to score 26 points or higher, you don't want to have any points lost because of language use issues. A lot of you guys, you probably had some pronunciation issues. You don't want to lose points with pronunciation and language use. You see what I'm saying? Because that makes it that much harder to reach that goal. So do everything you can to try to be as accurate as you can in the language use that you're using. All right? If you have more information, you can go to my website at onlinetoeflcourse.com.